We're live at BP's London headquarters at St. James's Square, and I'm joined by Nick McGregor from Redmayne Bentley. Thank you very much for being with us. What's going to happen to the stock today? We've heard so much speculation over the weekend that Hayward is going to go.
It's probably not going to have a huge impact on the share price. Surprisingly, normally chief exec departures would be a traumatic experience, but this is well flagged up and it's been expected for so long now that it's really a case of when, if not more than if.
Tell me about the when, because interesting timing, isn't it? I think that the prevailing view of analysts that we've been talking to have been saying that it's going to come. I think most expected it to come later.
Absolutely, and the surprise is the fact that it's been drawn forward so far, and it looks like really there's a desire to get all the bad news out the way in one go so a successor has a clean sheet to move on with, because we could do results tomorrow and those aren't going to be too healthy.
Our sources inside the company have been telling us this is all about BP rebuilding its brand and its business in the United States, the single most important market for BP at the moment. Do you think this will work?
It'll certainly help. I mean, I think the fact that the change of face will remove a lot of the vitriol that's been directed at Tony Hayward. It'll give the company a fighting chance. And Bob Dudley, bear in mind, has fought BP's corner very hard in TNK BP, the joint venture where they fell out with their partners and so on. And, it's certainly going to give them an opportunity to put all this behind them. But they still need to deal with the engineering at the bottom of the ocean. And until they get that sorted, it's not a done deal.
Presumably we're going to hear something about Hayward's severance package at some point. Likely a politically sensitive issue, right? He made £4.5 million last year in total compensation. He's going to get at least £1 million in salary, a little bit more than that, plus bonus. Plus he has a pension pot of more than £10 million, which would pay him in just 7 years' time about nearly £600,000 a year. That's not going to go down well in the United States, is it?
It's not going to go down well, but for example, his pension pot's mainly been accrued during his career in BP, which is a long one. And bear in mind, this guy ran the exploration and production business and did very, very well doing it. I mean, this is a good oil man who's fallen on the PR hurdle rather than a bad oil man who's being paid for failure. BP, up to this point, has been outperforming well. Perhaps
a witness to that fact is that analysts expect, yourself, I guess, included among them, something around $5 billion in pre-tax earnings from BP for the second quarter. Is that where we're tracking it?
Well, the underlying business will have made about $5 billion. BP may actually end up reporting a very significant loss because they may choose to take a charge, absolutely, against a lot of the costs of this. And again, the reason for that would be they don't have to do it now necessarily, but they'll be looking to give a successor chief exec a clean sheet so that he doesn't walk in on day one have to give the markets bad news.
This is the first time we will hear from BP tomorrow estimating how much the Gulf spill is going to cost. We've been surveying analysts, getting their opinions. How much do you think this is going to cost BP in the end?
Well, I think the figures that have been bandied around very dramatically, but something in the $30 to $40 billion range certainly looks likely, and I think investors are pretty well prepared for that.
Yeah, nonetheless, investors have discounted the stock to the tune of £50 billion, $77 billion. Is this a good time to buy BP?
Potentially it is, but it's not without risk. Again, until they get to the stage where this thing's actually finished, and we're not there yet, relief wells are not a dead cert, then there's always going to have to be a discount priced in to take account of that risk.
All right, Redmayne Bentley's Nick McGregor, thank you very much.